Hello friends, Tanya here with a video for Trinity Stamps. Today we're going to do a little happy hour stamping. Actually, it's going to be stenciling. We're using the Pop Fizz stencil set that came out in November. It is a really fun stencil set that comes in a couple of layers. This particular sheet has two different wine glasses. One's more of a champagne flute, one is more of the traditional wine glass or margarita or daiquiri or all of the fruity drinks. I am definitely thinking about fruity drinks because I'm going on vacation very soon. I pulled out a rainbow of Distress Oxide inks, and we're going to use those to stencil these simple beverage glass shapes all over the front of this card. I'm making a 5x7 card, and I just wanted to make a fun background. I started out with candied apple, and this one is ripe persimmon. And then I'm going to move on to squeezed lemonade. As you can see, I'm carefully masking the edges of this so that I don't get inking where I don't want it. I wanted a fairly stark white background, and I do clean off the stencil between each set of colors. Then I did Twisted Citron. The next color will be Salty Ocean, and I am trying to continue the pattern off the paper. That just makes your pattern look so much better when it looks like the pattern continues off the paper. I'm just being careful to not get this blue ink where I don't want it. Again, wiping off the excess on the stencil before I move to the next color so it doesn't contaminate the image for the next stenciling. I'm just going to continue alternating this, and I'm going to fit these in, alternating the shapes along with the colors. So this one is going to end up being that same candied apple, and then I'll go back and do the shorter glass in Wilted Violet. That made a pretty vibrant and fruity looking rainbow of drinks. I'm going to add a little extra something because while I like the solid images that have been stenciled this way, I do really like a two-tone look. So I'm going to come back and add a little bit of another color that is right adjacent to that color in the rainbow order. So for the Wilted Violet, I will add a little bit of the candy apple. I don't do that here. In fact, I don't think I even show that in the video. I think I did that off camera. You will see me add a little bit of Twisted Citron to the squeezed lemonade here, and you might even see me put some of the Wilted Violet on the Salty Ocean glass. I just added a little bit, like I said, of the adjacent color from the rainbow order to each of the colors. Like the candy apple, I added some of the ripe persimmon, and that doesn't sound like it would work, but it really does. Here you're going to see me add a little bit of that Twisted Citron to the tall glass, and it adds just a little extra depth to it. It's not very dramatic. Some of these color combinations, it is quite dramatic, and it just really makes me think of a refreshing beverage. What's your favorite beverage? I personally really like a guava pina colada. I know that sounds strange, but it's delicious. There you can see all of the glasses ink blended with two colors. I'm going to take a little bit of liquid pixie dust and add a little bit of water to it and spattering it over this whole panel. Now this panel that I ink blended was actually 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And this way I can cut out the best portion of it. I'm going to take the Modern Embossed stack, A7 stack, to create the inner panel, and I also took some rainbow foil paper and I die cut that in the full 5x7 size, and then I cut out the center because I didn't think you're not going to see it, so I wanted to be able to use it in another way. So next I pulled out the Simply Sentimental stamp and die set for the Hello set. This is amazing. It has so many ways to use the word hello and several sub-sentiments. I love this. So I die cut the hello from the leftover rainbow foil and the shadow from vellum, and I'm going to glue those together. I really think this is a fun way to use that foil. I'm just going to use a little bit of the Barely Art Precision Glue, and I'm going to adhere that to the vellum, and you will see this beautiful rainbow ombre effect across the entire word. I love the variety of fonts that are available in this Simply Sentimental line. There are several different large versions of the main sentiment, and so many different sub-sentiments to use with each of them. And there's currently hello, you, thanks, and I think there's one more, happy, that's what it is. Currently there's 4 of them. I think there's more to come. You'll have to keep an eye on the next release. So that is the entire hello. And now I'm going to add a little bit of coaster blank behind the back of these letters. I'm just going to cut small pieces. Coaster blanks are just pulpboard blanks that you can purchase and cut up. They're like a lightweight chipboard, and they add just the perfect amount of dimension for me. I thought that foiled sentiment would look perfect with this rainbow of glasses and with the foil matte layer behind the glasses. And you'll have to let me know what you think about that. I'm just going to finish adhering all of these little pieces of coaster blank, and then we will add the sub-sentiments. I'm going to stamp those with some VersaFine Onyx Clair, or no, VersaFine Clair? Is that what it's called? The black beautiful ink. I usually use the VersaFine Onyx Black, but I recently got the Clair version, and I really enjoy using that one too. I just like that it's perfect the first time you stamp it. So here we've got one of the sub-sentiments, actually 2 of them. We're going to use Sunshine, so Hello Sunshine, and I believe it's I've Been Thinking About You is what the other line says. I'm just going to use that nice black hybrid ink and get a good stamping here, and then we're going to use the banner die from the Simply Sentimental You die set. It is perfect for those sub-sentiments, and yes, it's very long, but it fits the longest of these sentiments perfectly. And then I can do some partial die cutting to cut out the smaller one. I did pull out this 4-bar die set and pull out one of those banner dies, and that would have worked too, but I decided to stick with the one that came with the Simply Sentimental You die set to keep the width of the banners the same. So I will cut this one out in one pass, and then I will show you how to do a little partial die cutting to get Sunshine die cut with the banner spacing the same way as the other sentiment. So I've taped that in place, and as you can see, I only put the plate over part of it. I'm going to take the die and slide it into the already cut grooves and get that positioned where I want it, and only put the second plate over the part that I want to cut, and it cuts that out perfectly. So we have 2 pieces of sub-sentiment there, and it's time to start assembling our card. I'm going to take the foil mat that I created from the rainbow foil paper, and I'm going to adhere that directly to the front of our A7 or 5x7 card base, and I did use the size that covers the entire front of the card panel. I don't do that very often. I really generally like a white background, but I thought I'd give it a try. And I do like it on this one. I did put some more coaster blank behind this panel and centered that onto the foiled mat. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive, the Barely Art Precision Glue, to the back of the hello, and we'll adhere that to the front of the card, get that centered nicely. And then I will take the sunshine and adhere that directly to the sentiment. No need for extra dimension on that piece. I'm going to put a little weight on top of that so that it will adhere perfectly. I'm going to trim a little piece of coaster blank to put behind the longer sub-sentiment, and I'm going to adhere that to the card front just below the hello. Again, just using the Barely Art Precision Glue. And I'm looking at this and I think that the hello just blends in way too much. So after all that, I carefully peeled it off of the card front, die cut the hello and the shadow again. I used some black glitter cardstock and adhered it the same way. But this time I left the sunshine off. For some reason it just didn't feel right. Then I pulled out the crystal ball baubles and added several of those to the front of the card front also. And that completes my card. What do you think? Is that perfect for a little New Year's celebration? I hope you enjoyed this card. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, take a moment to do that now. And if you're interested in any of the products I use, they are listed and linked in the description box below. And also, we have a couple of videos here we thought you might like to watch. Until next time, bye-bye.